Hey friends, it's Robin. Today we are going to be picking out my October TBR. I've tried to adjust my setup so that you can actually see my TBR cart this time. We'll see how that works out. Every single month I pick prompts out of this little jar and it just helps me pick out my TBR. If you haven't seen any of the previous months, I will link the playlist up in the cards and down in the description box so you can go check those out. Hey guys, so this is Robin from the future quickly popping on because I filmed an entire intro telling you how I wasn't going to participate in anything for the month of October. I've changed my mind. I started watching everyone's Blackoweenathon TBRs and I want to participate. So we are quickly throwing in 6 more books on top of the TBR that you will see in just a minute because I want to participate in this readathon. If you haven't heard of this, it is created by Bree from Locked Booktician, who I will link down below. Her videos are fantastic. Bree's videos never cease to make me laugh. Her personality is just like so naturally funny. I love her videos so much. They always make me smile. This morning I was watching Ashley from the Bookish Realm, who posted her TBR this morning, and her TBR is the one that got me to just cave and refilm this little intro. I got some books that I pulled from both of their TBRs as well as some that I already had sitting on my own, so I'm just going to quickly add those books in. So first we have The Dark 30 by Patricia McKissack, and this is the one that I got off of Ashley's TBR. It looks like this is a short story collection all about horror set in the American South, I believe. And this is like a children's middle grade type of story. It sounds really good. And she said that this author duo, the illustrator and this author, are kind of like classics in the children's literature, so I wanted to give this a read. I have How to Succeed in Witchcraft by Aislinn Brophy. I'm not 100% and if I'm pronouncing this author's name correctly, but I do have this on audio from Penguin Random House, so I will make sure that I'm pronouncing it correctly in my review. This is not 100% what this readathon is intended for, but it is witchy, so like kinda. This is a YA fantasy debut and we're following these witches at this prestigious school. I think they're all competing for a scholarship and I think there's a female-female romance in here. So I'm excited for this one. I have The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson, and this is a crime to say, but this will be my first Tiffany D. Jackson book. I'm sorry. This is a Carrie retelling and that's all I know about it. Carrie retelling. I follow Tiffany D. Jackson everywhere on social media because her social media is just amazing. I love her as a person and I'm really excited to give this one a read. Then I have Blood Debts by Terry J. Benton-Walker, which I will talk about more in a minute. And then Junk Shop Blues by McCade. This is book 2 in the Criminal Intention series. This is a detective mystery. This whole series is very episodic. So each of the books has its own standalone mystery, which are following the same characters. So if you look at like the series, it's broken down by like seasons and episodes, which is really cool. This is following 2 detectives who are reluctantly working together, and I think eventually they have a romance. I think. And then the last one is the book that I got off of Bree's video, and that is The Quarter Storm by Veronica Henry. And I don't remember the detailed synopsis for this, but it's a duet. This follows a woman with powers in New Orleans. I remember voodoo, magic, murder, and New Orleans. And those keywords together made me immediately download this. This is available on KU, and if you download it on KU, you also get the audiobook for free, which I love. So that is it for this little interlude, so let's get back to the original TBR. But I will say that this round, I have completely redone all of my prompts. My kitten ate the majority of my previous prompts, so it was a perfect opportunity to redo them. We are going to pick out 10 books for the month of October. You're going to see the kitten come in and out of this video. It's gonna be a thing. Let's just get right into picking out the prompts. Hopefully the setup isn't like too much of a mess. I feel like it's a little messy, but we're just gonna make it work for this month. So prompt number 1 is going to be, let's go with this one. This is a book that is set in another country, so a book set somewhere other than the US. For this one, I'm going to go with The Wicked Remain by Laura Pohl. This is actually set in Switzerland and the author lives in Brazil. This is the sequel to The Gilmore Girls. I really liked this first book. It is like a fairy tale murder mystery set at this elite boarding school. 3 best friends are trying to figure out what happened to their best friend who supposedly died by suicide the summer prior, and they are investigating her murder, and a new girl comes to school, and the four of them realize that girls have been dying at this school for a long time, and they think they might be next, and they're trying to figure out what is happening. I really like this one. It has a murder mystery. It's perfect for October. I remember this being like a really quick read, so I might try to reread this before going into the sequel. The sequel doesn't release until November, but I do have an arc of it, and I feel like October is the right season for a fairy tale murder mystery type of story. Prompt number 2. Let's pick this one, and this one is to read a new release. So for this one, I'm actually going to go with Their Vicious Darling by Nikki St. Croew. This is the third book in her Peter Pan series. It's called the Vicious Lost Boys series. I have been binging this series. It is really dark and kind of over the top and ridiculous, and I kind of love it. I am just about done with book 2, and this is book 3, so I know I'm going to want to continue on with this series. I don't know how many books are going to be in the series, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. I talked about this in one of my recent reads videos, but this isn't like the best plotted, most well-developed characters or anything like that. It is just unbelievably addicting. I love it for that. Prompt 3. Let's go with, this one. And this one is to read a debut. And I know right away what I'm going to read for this one, and that is Blood Debts by Terry J. Benton-Walker. And this is a YA fantasy debut. I am obsessed with this cover. This cover is like, as soon as I saw this cover, I was like, I need to read the synopsis for that. This doesn't come out for quite a while. This doesn't come out until next April, but I just got an arc of it and I am kind of desperate to read it this month. This says that 30 years ago, a young woman was murdered, a family was lynched, and New Orleans saw the greatest magical massacre in its history. In the days that followed, a throne was stolen from a queen. On the anniversary of these brutal events, Clement and Christina, the 16-year-old twins, are mourning their father and caring for their sick mother, until by chance they discover their mother isn't sick, she is cursed. Cursed by someone on the very magic council that their family used to rule, someone who will come for them next. Christina, once a talented and dedicated practitioner, has given up magic for good. An ancient spell is what killed her father, and she was the one who cast it. For Clement, magic is his lifeline, even better than the random guys he hooks up with. The two of them used to be each other's most trusted confidant and friend. Now they barely speak, but if they have any hope of discovering who is coming after the family, they'll have to find a way to trust each other and their family's magic, all while solving the decades-old murder that sparked the still rising tensions between the city's magical and non-magical communities. And if they don't succeed, New Orleans may see another massacre or worse. I do think this one is a little long, so luckily I put Their Vicious Darling on here to counteract that. Prompt number 4. Let's go with this one. This one is a dark colored cover. So right away, I'm just going to get this one on the TBR, and that is Ravensong by TJ Klune. This is obviously a fully black cover, but this is also going to fit for the buzzword prompt, which is creatures or animals, and this has Raven in the title. This is book 2 in the Grey Creek series. I just talked about this in my fall TBR, so I'm not going to go into too in-depth into this one, but this is the sequel to Wolf Song. It's a second chance romance following a werewolf and a witch, and I absolutely cannot wait. Put this down at one point because I was in a reading slump, and I want to get back into this world, and now it's on my fall TBR, so I need to prioritize it. So it's happening in October. Prompt number 5. Let's pick this one. This one is a book with a name in the title. Okay. I thought this was going to be a hard one, but weirdly enough, I have 4 to choose from, which is shocking. I think I'm going to put Hunting Adeline by H.G. Carlton on this TBR. The only reason I'm choosing that one over the other ones is because I put this on my fall TBR. So I'm going to put this one on here. This is the sequel to Hunting Adeline. It is a dark romance between a stalker who kills bad people and our heroine who is discovering that her family has a really dark past. So it is a romance between the two of them. It is ridiculous and I love it. So I think it's a duology. So I think this is like the end of the series. Another reason to read it. Prompt 6 is, let's pick this guy. And this is a book with a 1-word title. Oh, I'm getting so many good prompts because I have a lot for this one too. I was kind of torn because Belladonna by Adeline Grace has been sitting on my TBR cart for a minute and I really should read that one. That is the one that should be on my TBR. However, I really want to read Lute by Jennifer Thorne. There is something about this book that is just calling to me, and October feels like the perfect time for it. We are following a heroine who moves to this island after are marrying into a very wealthy family. This island is protected by a curse, but in exchange, every 7 years, 7 people must be sacrificed. This reminds me a lot of Strange Grace by Tessa Groton, which I loved. I loved that book. This is classified as folk horror, which I've discovered that I love. Very excited for this one. That is going to be the next book on the TBR. Prompt 7 is, let's pick this one. And this is a highest rated. So I'm not just going to like choose the highest rated on my Goodreads. I'm actually going to choose from my list. So I'm only going to go with the ones that are already out. So this is going to take a minute. Okay, so there were a lot of highly rated books on my TBR, but unsurprisingly, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree was by far the highest rated. This has a 4.44 rating on Goodreads, which is insane, especially considering it has over 16,000 reviews. This is supposed to be like a cozy fantasy with a romance. I believe one of our characters is like a orc barbarian. She had a warrior's life and now she just wants to open up a coffee shop, but no one knows what coffee is. And I think it is a romance between her and one of her partners. The coffee shop might like be at risk because of her past. I don't know. I've heard nothing but good things. So I'm excited to read this one, especially mixed in with some of the other like darker books that I have. Prompt 8 is, let's pick this one. And this one is, oh, to read an audiobook. Perfect. For this one, I'm going to go with Mistakes Were Made by Meryl Wilsner because I actually have an ALC of this one. So it's the perfect one to put on here. I haven't like read the full synopsis for this because all I needed to know about this one is it is a female-female romance between our heroine who is a college junior or senior and she accidentally hooks up with her best friend's mom. I love that. I absolutely cannot wait for this one. Prompt number 9, right? We're on prompt 9. I'll have to double check that. Let's go with this one. Is, oh no, Robin, is start a new series. I know what I'm gonna go with for this one, but it hurts me. It hurts me just a little bit because I have a lot of sequels that I should be reading, but I'm gonna go with Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRoux. This was another book that was on my fall TBR. I think that's going to be linked in all of the places. But this is a demon witch romance, if I'm remembering correctly. There is this like wealthy family in power that has captured this demon, and they are using this demon to try and wake a sleeping god. And I think it is a romance between this demon and a witch, possibly. That's all I really know about it. I'm excited to read it. This is another super long book. So hopefully I have an amazing reading month in October. Final prompt. This is such a good TBR though. I'm really excited for it. Let's go with this one. And our final prompt is, oh no, a TBR redo. So a book that I put on a previous TBR that I still haven't read. Okay, I had to take a little break because my computer died, but I don't have a ton of options. As has been established, I read my TBRs, so I don't have a ton of options. My options are The It Girl by Ruth Ware. This was a Literally Dead book club pick that I never read. This Vicious Grace by Emily Theed was on like my February TBR or something like that. And then Hide by Kirsten White was actually on like 2 or 3 of my TBRs, and I still haven't read it. But I think I'm gonna go with one that you might accuse me of cheating a little bit. But that is Ancients by Catherine Moon. And the reason I say this might be cheating just a little bit is this was on my September TBR, and I'm just gonna run out of time. I'm not gonna be able to get it in the next, I think I have 3 days left in the month, and I'm not gonna finish it because I'm on the previous book and I'm only like 20% in. So I'm just gonna run out of time. So technically it fits the prompt because I'm not going to read it in September and it was on my September TBR. But I do want to continue on with this series. So Ancients by Catherine Moon is going to be the final book in the TBR. This is a polyamorous witch romance. There is a coven of 4 witches. They all work at this university in this like magical world. Things have kind of progressed and now there is like a political sort of plot happening. I don't know where this book, like what happens in this book, because I'm still on book 3, so I'm not like 100% sure what happens in this next book. I don't actually know how many books are in this. It might be 4. This might be the final one. That is going to be it for my October TBR. I am really excited about this TBR. I do have other books that I would like to get to this month. First of all, Witches Get Stitches by Juliette Cross will definitely get read in the month of October. If I have the chance, I will do the fourth book. There is a novella that takes place after this one, but it is a holiday novella, and I'm going to skip that one and save it for the holiday season and go on to book 4, which is Practice Safe Hacks, maybe, but I'm definitely reading this one in October. If I can, I would also really like to read Our Last Echoes by Kate Alice Marshall, because I am such a TBR reader. Technically, this was on my yearly TBR and I am determined to finish it, but I need to read this one first. So I would like to read Our Last Echoes this month, but I think that is going to be it for this video. Let me know if any of these books are on your TBR. Let me know what you are most excited to see me read, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye!